Yeah, no, I thought we were really good tonight. Yeah, if you look at the start, they had a little bit of opportunity there, and I could tell by the way we scrambled and sort of turned up and saved things early on that we're here to play. And I thought our first half was really good, actually. We probably got a little bit ill-disciplined in the second half, become a bit of a scrappy game at different times, but I loved our defence. I thought our defence was really good tonight.
You've tightened up there, Wolf. You've been 22 points or so, 30 points in 3 weeks, so you've been a lot more miserly in that area.
Yeah, we've been really good there. We were pretty good there to start the year. We had a couple of games that probably weren't where we wanted them to be, but we've been really good since then as well. So it was an area we wanted to improve. I think we've done a really good job there.
Would you pick Max Plath for Origin?
Oh, look, I'm biased with our players. I'd love to see a guy like Max get an opportunity, and there's plenty of others I'd love to see get an opportunity as well. And it's probably a bit of a loaded question. I won't answer it that way, but I'd love to see a guy like him get an opportunity. He's worked his butt off. He's been great for us ever since. He's only 8-9 games back from an ACL. He's been outstanding for us.
Okay, Tom, you played in that arena. What do you think, if you did it, Max being suited to it?
Max?
Yeah, what do you think he's suited to the Origin arena?
Well, Max builds his game on such a solid foundation of working hard and turning up and on both sides of the ball, and that puts him in places where he can score tries or finish off plays because he's just always in the game mentally and physically. It's a credit to his work ethic, obviously the ACL, but he's extremely fit. He works hard, and like I said, those foundations are built for Origin. And I know that a bloke like him will get his prep right. The boys will love him, and he'll turn up for 80 minutes.
Must be happy too with Selwyn Cobbo. Wolfie, like he seems to have really settled now. He's cut out the errors in his game. He's found his rhythm.
I think Selwyn's been great. He's been great ever since he come to the club. I've said that a number of times, and in the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's just really found his confidence, and the carries that he gives us out of the backfield are outstanding. To watch him come up with that play tonight where he saves a try, if he doesn't do such a good job there and play with such desperation, then that makes it a different game in the second half, and I've been really happy with him. Yeah.
Update on Cody? It was unfortunate that he had to come off.
Yeah, look, it's just a little hamstring twinge, so I don't think it's a bad one. I don't know what his chances are for next week, but I certainly don't think he'll be out long term.
It was good to have Kurt back as well. He obviously probably played a bit different role than he was expecting.
Who was that, sorry?
Kurt.
Oh, Kurt's outstanding. I thought he was really good when he came in through the middle there, and you could just see how well we defended with him and other guys just before half time. And that hurt us a little bit, that one, and it meant we'd made 5 changes at half time, having to take Cody off. So it was great that we had Kurt there. He can do such a good job wherever you put him, and other guys like Max and Morgan who just played through, and Ray Stone and Tommy who just played through some really big minutes there to keep us together. So, but I thought Kurt was really good. Wherever we put him, he's really good.
How do you think your place for the Origin, like a campaign coming up, because you've got to play without your Origin? It looks like you're going to have a few Origin plays. Do you think you've had these 3 wins with red hot team, blokes coming back, but you're going to lose a couple? Why do you think you're ready to handle that next challenge?
Look, we're going to be relatively healthy. There's a couple of guys still missing, obviously, and Daniel Speedy's a big hole for us. But we are relatively healthy, which helps. And I just think we've got some guys there that are ready to play. Trey Fuller's ready to play. He's always come in and done a great job for us whenever he's played for us, and he'll come in and do that. And Oren Keely's ready to go. He's played really well for Redcliffe in the Queensland Cup the last couple of weeks and got some 80-minute hit-outs out. Tavita Nafahu, Brad Snyder. I think all those guys are ready to go and ready to come in and take their opportunities. So I really hope that we get a fair number in the Origin. I think over the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, blokes have deserved it, and I hope that's the case. And I really look forward to those games where you get to give those guys opportunity and they get to put their stamp on the team.
Do you feel, Wolfie, you can really build something from here? Like last year, you were fantastic in attacking that mid part of the season. Do you feel like getting that cohesion in attack now and you blow teams off the park?
Look, I'm not too worried about blowing teams off the park. I'd rather a win like tonight, where I'd like us to be a little bit cleaner in the second half. Don't get me wrong, but as I say, I just love the resilience and the toughness and the way we defended our way to a win there. You know, that's what you want your team to be about. And I know that we can attack and you get everyone back in the right spots. I know we'll find points, and we've shown that the last couple of weeks. But you know, that resilience and that toughness in defence is really important at this time of the year.
And it's another SCG thriller where they break Collingwood hearts. Sydney by 6. What a display for Martin Brooke.
Well, that's a win, Jace. On the ropes. I mean, Collingwood would take a lot of positives, but in the end, they were just under-resourced in the middle of the ground. Vestine going down with that possible serious knee injury.
Two of the greats there, Lynchy. Current greats that don't recognise how key. A lot of respect between them.
I just love the way they controlled that last centre baller. When there's a minute on the clock,
Yep.
you're only a goal in front, you're protecting a lead. Grundy had complete control, and he gets it to the advantage of the midfield who take it away, and they quell any chance of a last-minute surprise from the Pies.
To a best and fairest winner at Collingwood in their grand final year. It was the first time he won it. Brodie Grundy, and what a performance tonight. Not for Dustin Cameron to be out of the team. As we get down to Cameron Mooney.
Thanks, Hutto. Well, Nick, you look pretty pumped after that siren. That was a big win in the end because they had you on the ropes early.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Friday night, packed crowd. Been the story of our games the last few weeks. We're just not quite at our best. It is hard to stay up for so long, you know. Like, we've started the season so well, but far out, we just keep finding a way to win. And man, I'm just so proud of this group. We're up against it and could have easily folded over and thought it's a bit too hard, but never say die. And you know, Rowi's 150th, and how fitting that the toughest bloke on the field lays that last tackle, and just so proud of him. And he does all the grunt work and lets the rest of the boys flourish. And far out, man, I'm stoked with that.
I watched you straight over that siren, you went straight to Rowie. I mean, that was a huge tackle in the end, wasn't it?
Oh, it's huge. I mean,
they were off.
You know, they were off, and they're so good at just playing those moments, and they're never out of it. So, yeah, I mean, he doesn't get a lot of recognition, Rowie, and he's my best mate, and we live together, and we're as thick as thieves. And yeah, he's very underrated, but he lets boys like me do my thing, and Chatty, and you know, Isaac. Yeah, man, he's a star, and he's so valued in this team, and couldn't be happier for him.
What was the turnaround after quarter time? Because they did not let you run through the middle of the ground. They blocked it. They owned that corridor where you guys wanted to be. What changed?
Yeah, I think teams are doing that now. You know, we've started the season so well, and you know, everyone says it's our only avenue to score, but we find different ways, and we train bloody hard at both aspects of our game. You know, like it felt like we lost during the week, to be honest, with the reviews that we had. We just weren't up to standard, and didn't look like our type of game that we usually play in. And to bounce back like that, it was ugly, but you know, we find a way to win, and just so happy.
You fell down over here, hurt your shoulder again. You hurt it last week. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's one of those things that's going to be sore for a bit, but as I said last week, when you got nothing on you, that's what happens.
Hey, who cooks out of you and Rowie?
I'll say myself, but it's definitely Rowie. I'll do nothing.
Mate, you might have a medal. Go over there.
Yeah, what a play, what an asset he is.
Oh, he is.
And interesting to see what he had to say about how he thought they played last week, and the review was like a loss. As we get down to the presentation.
Here at the SCG, the Sydney Swans victorious over the Collingwood Magpies in a scintillating performance. Before we call up the winning captain, I would like to welcome the living legend that is Michael O'Loughlin to come forward and present the Goods O'Loughlin medal to the best player on ground. The medal was created to honour the contribution of both greats, Adam Goods and Michael O'Loughlin. And the winner of the Goods O'Loughlin medal tonight is the big fella number 4 for the Sydney Swans, Brodie Grundy.
First of all, thank you to Collingwood. 40,000 here at the SCG for Marngrook Friday night. It's obviously a huge round for the AFL. Broader community in general, celebrate First Nation players have contributed so much to our game. We've had some champion players from both the Sydney Swans and the Collingwood Football Club over many, many years. And it's a real honour to win this award. We've also got the matchday sponsor, Go Foundation, founded by Michael O'Loughlin and Adam Goods, champions. They do a power of work to empower through education, which is fantastic. Encourage you to have a look, our matchday partner. Thank you so much, 40,000, go Swans.
Beautifully said. And now to present the Marngrook Trophy to the victorious team, the Sydney Swans, please welcome Uncle Mick Dodson, OAM. And the winners of the Marngrook Trophy this year, one more time for the Sydney Swans.
Firstly, it's an absolute pleasure to host Marngrook Ground. Thank you so much for the turnout. Thank you to Collingwood. We respect you guys so much. And this is an amazing round for all Australians. We celebrate our First Nations brothers and sisters. And to our boys in the football club, so proud to represent the Bloods on this round. Thanks for turning out, everyone.
Welcome back to Friday Night Footy on Fox, brought to you by Ford. They took some beating, the Collingwood Football Club. They were brave. They led by 33 points at the 17-minute mark of the second quarter, a quarter in which they kicked 1 goal 7. They'll be ruining the missed opportunities. With the top of the table, Swans, like a good side, like a very good side does, finds a way to win when they're nowhere near their best. And they've got up and prevailed by 6 points on the back of some heroic individual performances. The Swans surge, well, they went off the ground early. I thought it was duck season early. They didn't move until after half-time, but then we'll show you what happened. The boys will tell you exactly what went on, and they held on against a brave Collingwood Footy Club. Tommy?
Yeah, they were terrific tonight, Collingwood. The young kids, we lauded them in the first half. I thought they still stuck the game out really well, but in the end, Sydney just controlled the game. They took more uncontested marks, so a plus of 25 in that area. In the second half, they started to go more around Collingwood. They wanted to set up through the middle defensively, really sound in that part, and they did. They just controlled it. They found a different way to win tonight.
Oscar Steen goes down. He's no Darcy Cameron tonight for the injuries, and ends up being Brodie Grundy's Goods O'Loughlin medal.
Well, so often on wet nights like this, in inclement conditions, you end up just having to bullet the ball forward. So the Swans surge wasn't so much through run and carry and handball. It ended up being quick kicks along the ground or a tackle and a knock on, and that's exactly what Brodie Grundy was able to provide out of ruck contest first. 46 hit-outs, 12 to advantage, 24 contested possessions. So it was, that was a huge part of it, but they bought in, didn't they, the Swans? They were challenged, they faced that, they came back a little at the end of the second, and then through the second half just ground the Pies out.
Only the second time this year Sydney have been kept under 100 points. So you think about defensively, I thought Collingwood were brilliant, gave up 71 inside 50s for only the 11 goals. So they did a lot right tonight. If they had a few personnel, maybe that changes the result. But Sydney probably for the second time this year, really had to work for that win. Nothing came easy.
They kicked the last 4 goals of the third quarter to go in at three-quarter time, 6 points up. So let's have a look at the fourth quarter moments. It was an arm wrestle for the first 10 minutes, and there was no scores at all. And it went into a really defensive mode, which you'd expect. And again, Collingwood stood up bravely, and there was a sense that it was an inevitability that Sydney were going to go away. And then it was that Sloan kick. Roan
Steele. That guy.
He kicked a fantastic goal. And they're only behind by a point. And then the opportunities that were just missed. And it's a story of the night. They'll look back at this and go, gee, we had some opportunities through here.
Yeah, and as we're seeing from these highlights, there's not a lot of clean ball. The ball bubbles around. It's whoever was taking their chances. Steele's goal was a good goal. When there'd been a couple of ground balls that had sort of bounced around and then you take your chance. McDonald's goal was brilliant. And then, Papley really stood up late in the game. A couple of his goals in the second half when the Swans needed them most. And just key moments throughout. This kick was brilliant. Young fella Anderson, who was able to get it off the line. One of the few times that we saw a kick actually connect inside forward 50. The defence held sway for the most part, but it was. The fact that that tackle, James Rowbottom, excellent against Houston. The scores kept it the close scores kept it as interesting as anything, and the fact that the combatants were willing to give everything of themselves to try and get the result, and the Swans ultimately got there.
I've got no involvement in the meat trade, but that tackle's not rewarded somewhere down the track, but I don't have any.
You've got inside info.
But I have no say.
You've got to tease it. You can't.
I haven't said it. I said I've got no say. You've picked a couple of shockers, you blokes, this year. You could go anywhere.
I blame that fairly on Tom Gilbert.
And Johnny Brown, he rings through every now and then. He hasn't sent through one tonight, so it's up to you two boys. And we'll get the meat tray winner on the headset very shortly. We'll talk to one of the superstars of the night. And right now, as I said pre-game, Dean Cox's first year was hard work. They were 3-6 at this stage. They going into the round 10 game. They now sit at round 10 with 9 wins and just that solitary loss. So that's an outstanding result right now, and it's a wonderful launch pad now for the next half of the year, because we talked about being able to rest players at various stages to make sure you get to September in really good nick.
And I think you've got to learn things along the way. I mean, the footy that they were playing, as great as it was, I don't think they would have been learning all that much. I think a game like tonight, you bank the 4 points, you learn a little bit about personnel. We'll maybe touch on some personnel forward of the ball in the games that they had, but also different ways to be able to try and score. When the pressure's high, even that fourth quarter, Collingwood's pressure was 194, which is well above AFL average. So this would be a song sung with a lot of relief, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you win ugly, and they were able to win ugly tonight.
Well, Nick Blakey mentioned that. He said, look, we might have turned our toes up and just let this one go, but we're made of stern stuff and love the win.